Ongoing Arctic training for U.S. soldiers is taking the 11th Airborne Division overseas. Just last month, the 11th Airborne Division hosted a handful of military allies for the Joint Pacific Multinational Readiness Center exercise right here in the interior. Now the 11th Airborne is taking their turn to travel, visiting another Arctic partner to continue perfecting their performance. Reporter Adrian Peterson has more in this week's edition of the Military Report.
2 years ago, troops from Alaska swapped sides of the globe to conduct Exercise Swift Response. Now, just weeks after hosting their own Arctic warfare exercise, the troops are once again going to Norway.
Almost squeezing every little bit that you can out of the winter is, that's what we're expected to excel in. So, you've got to maximize the time when you have those conditions.
Utilizing lessons learned during the JPMRC, the 11th Airborne will be crossing over the North Pole for the Arctic Shock exercise.
It speaks to the strategic importance of, the geography up here and where we are.
The flight simulates a response to conflict in Northern Europe, which would otherwise be a much more difficult task without Alaska. Once on the ground, they will begin a small unit exercise.
A small unit is really battalion level and below, but more typically people are referring to company level and below, so about 125 soldiers or less.
The JPMRC, on the other hand, was a large unit exercise, but small unit operations are something the U.S. doesn't focus on as much. A big part of Arctic Shock, much like any exercise with our allies, will be learning new techniques for operations. In this case, geography will be a part of that.
They've built more of their training area in the mountains. We have those things like in our training area, but some of them, like the Donnelly training area, is not like in the mountains proper per se.
The exercise will also allow the troops to better familiarize themselves with Norway as a NATO partner, which is something that occurs less often compared to Canada.
2 years ago we jumped in and we just went straight to work and had a mission.
This time the coordinated planning will be more involved, letting both countries work out friction points ahead of time. This is Adrian Peterson reporting for News Center Fairbanks.
The Military Report is brought to you by veteran-owned Walden Home Group.